And we saw this under the Obama administration, him working closer and closer with the NFL. They had the Ravens were involved in the Obamacare rollout. You think about this.
This is the Obamification, the global, the George Sorosization of the NFL, and it's now used toilet paper. Okay, so you got the world champion Spurs of San Antonio, just south of where I'm broadcasting from in the ATX. And it's just a crescendo, the usual suspects, Michael Moore, Maxine Waters, Sheila Jackson-Lee, the usual suspects, just pity-parting, invoking race war. Never enough kneeling, never enough protesting during the national anthem in this great time of battling racism. And then you look at the FBI statistics, on average, 10-to-1 black crime against white folks. And I'm not bashing people. Most black folks aren't bad. But the media says go out and attack white people, and it's happening. Like this white church got attacked over the weekend by a Islamic invader from Sudan. And he said on Facebook, I'm a Muslim, and I want to kill Christians and white people. And he came and he did it. But you're not going to hear the NBA coach, Popovich, saying a word about that. No, no, no. White people need to be made to feel uncomfortable. Well, I think they're getting made to feel uncomfortable when they get put in 6 feet under, just randomly shot, or black cops randomly shot just because they're cops by BLM.
Pretty uncomfortable when you have to stand with armed guards outside of your church where you're trying to worship God. I have a buddy who lives right outside of Nashville, right near where that church is. They stand armed guard. They take turns because they're worried that something like that could happen. They take turns 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
And he would have killed a lot more people than, 9 folks he shot, 1 dead, if there wouldn't have been that security usher. The ushers got to carry guns.
Yeah, thank God.
And they call us kooks because we carry guns when you're all over TV saying, go kill Trump supporters. And they're not even Trump supporters. Just some white folks, we're going to kill them. And when that idiot in South Carolina killed the 9 black folks, every white person in America was guilty. Right. But now when a black guy does, it doesn't even make the news.
Every bit as evil as Dylan Roof. Every bit as evil. No national media.
Not a word out of Popovich because he can virtue signal in San Antonio, and him and his players can feel sorry. We're only making $20 million a year, coach. And we only have all the women throwing themselves at us and have helicopters and jets. America sucks.
You can only buy 2 Lamborghinis this year, not 3. I wanted 3.
That's right. So let's go ahead and play this clip right now. I got so upset I just unplugged my headset's not working. It doesn't matter. Here is the clip.
It doesn't matter. People have to be made to feel uncomfortable, and especially white people, because we're comfortable. We still have no clue of what being born white means. And if you read some of the recent literature, you'll realize it really is no such thing as whiteness. But we've kind of made it up. That's not my original thought, but it's true. And it's hard to sit down and decide that, yes, it's like you're at the 50-meter mark in a 100-meter dash. And you got that kind of a lead. Yes, because you were born white, you have advantages that are systemically, culturally, psychologically there. And they have been built up and cemented for hundreds of years. It doesn't matter.
So Jack Posobiec, just next level. And I've got like 20 similar clips.
Where is he getting this stuff?
It's only going to get worse and worse where you just run around and go, I'm sorry, I'm evil, kill us, stab us, murder us, whites are inherently evil. You have like this head of the vaccine program in Texas is down at the event, and she says, we need to just kill all the white people. And she's a white lady, and it's Hillary. Well, white people voted for Trump. They're the problem. Just the same white folks that voted for Obama. I mean, it's just crazy. Where's this going?
And you realize that there are sources of information that are beyond what we're seeing on mainstream. Wherever this guy is drawing this stuff from, there's no such thing as whiteness, and the whiteness have been oppressing people for years, and it's systematic. You're not hearing that on CNN. You're not hearing that from mainstream sources. So there's other sources, higher level stuff that's getting to this guy. There's higher level sources that are being worked on these people that are essentially trying to flame this up because they know that these people are influential. They know they're influential because of their platforms through sports, through entertainment, through other parts of the media, so that they can then push that message out and fan these flames of identity politics, fan these flames of actual racism, because they're looking to push forward this. Or they knew, the Russians talked about this in the 1970s, even before then. They knew that America's fault lines were on race. You fan those flames, you try to divide Americans on those racial lines, and you're just going to get chaos in the United States.
And the Soviets would do it in Latin America according to tribal lines. Or they would do it in Ukraine according to Orthodox versus Catholic. They would do it in the Middle East, Shiite versus Sunni, and they wrote big concordance documents on how to politically control. It's called cultural Marxism, and it's being carried out and taught at colleges now. And I just had Ron Paul on saying the NFL is cultural Marxism. But notice, they've invaded everywhere with politics beating us over the head. Don't they get we've developed an allergy, that we're rejecting it, that it's not working?
Yeah, that's what they don't get. And that is the amazing thing about the American people, is the fact that they know inherently, Alex, that you do stand up for the American flag. You do stand up for the anthem. You do stand up for your country.
Well, yeah, we're not North Korea. It's our country. We pay taxes to it. It's our ancestors. And it's what are we giving it up for? Globalism? Totally ruthless companies that literally own slave factories that are the worst? The more liberal the company, the more hellish their facilities are.
And we saw this under the Obama administration, him working closer and closer with the NFL. They had the Ravens were involved in the Obamacare rollout. You think about this.
This is the Obamification, the George Sorosization of the NFL, and it's now used toilet paper.
Yeah, it's by design. It's by design that they would use this, because they know the power of the entertainment. They know the power of the celebrity. The athlete is someone that you're going to listen to. They used to do this with the rock singers during Vietnam, during all that time. They used to do it with other areas of entertainment. Now they're using it with athletes. We're also seeing Jimmy Kimmel, John Oliver, all these guys are spouting off about, well, this is what we need for the FCC, and this is what we need for net neutrality, and this is what we need for healthcare. And then suddenly they say, wait a minute.
And let's be clear. It comes directly out of the CIA, the Ford Foundation at the top. There are good people inside government agencies that are fighting this. That's what we're seeing is a deep state civil war. But now they're activating the shadow government that is controlled by the bad guys, that controls the deep state, to try to bring in some type of hard coup against the president. What do you think they're going to launch next?
I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more people, an over-politicization of America. We're going to see people outside of sports. Now this is leaking over to the baseball. It's leaking over to hockey. It's leaking over to NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr. said he wanted to be in solidarity with these guys. And so people are going to...
Because their bosses are saying conservatives won't punish you. They don't care, but liberals will love you, virtue signal to them, and then the mainstream media will say you're good. No, Dale Earnhardt Jr., you're an idiot. You're going to be hated by your core fans forever. And the numbers show it, but they're still committing political suicide. Why?
Because it's a program. Because it's a program. And they know that it's not going to be ordered overnight. They know that it's a conditioning.
It's a nudging. It's a force feeding.
It's then going to move to advertisers. Look for Coca-Cola. Look for Pepsi. Look for these big, major advertisers.
To give them major endorsements. It's a payoff.
To start to go for all of this.
Take the one Army Ranger veteran. I don't want to say his name now because I don't want to disgrace his family. He was wonderful, getting up during the anthem and saying, I'm not going to be part of this. And then they basically threatened to fire him. He now says he's ashamed. He agrees with it all. Basically, you know, America's bad. Stick with the players. So it shows the bullying of this cult.
Hey, you talk about North Korea. This is like a video that North Korea would make somebody like that student or somebody else give after you've been kidnapped by North Korea. That didn't...
Exactly.
You knew what that guy was standing. You could see in his eyes that he was standing for his country. He was standing for the fallen soldiers that he served with, wounded veterans he talked about. That's why.
And they told him, your $5 million a year contract's over unless you get out there and say, piss on America.
And that reminded me of something that you'd see. Go back. We've talked about this before, Alex. Chinese Cultural Revolution. This is exactly what they made.
When you go to the universities, they say, we're executing the Mao model. That's what the Ford Foundation is executing. Right. Of all the communist flavors, that's what we're having executed, with the Chi-Coms rolling in with funding of all 6 major movie production companies.
Yeah, so the actual funding is even coming from China. A lot of this is overt. A lot of people see this. Hollywood movies today. And for the past 10 years, it's been ratcheting up and ratcheting up. It's always China. And suddenly China is more helpful in the films. And then you're seeing, too, if you go back, look and study the Chinese Cultural Revolution. These ideas of toppling your monuments, destroying your own history. History doesn't matter because we have progress now. We don't need history anymore because we're better. We're more self-effectuated, self-accentuated, whatever that means, postmodernism. And then if anyone steps out of that, if anyone steps out of line, you have to self-recriminate. You have to go stand before everyone and apologize.
And that's the thing. It starts with you going in the colleges and then the churches and then your homes. Then they shut down the churches saying, I'm bad. I did this. It's true. And then once they get the whites doing it, everyone's going to have to go say what they've done. And then, oh, Bob had to be taken away for re-education. And what do they say? 2010 Army.mil document. They've set up mass internment facilities, and they use the term re-education camp that is the Soviet and / communist Chinese name. I'm not calling it internment camp. Excuse me, re-education camp. They call it re-education camp. They even use the tainted name to rub it in.
They know what they're doing. They know what the program is.
They're running a commie takeover.
They know exactly. It's paint by numbers. This came from Stalin, then it went to Mao. Mao really was the one that got the cultural understanding of this underway. Because in the Soviet Union, a lot of this was already destroyed from all of the wars that happened from World War I, World War II, the Bolshevik Revolution. But it was Mao who had to go in peacetime, Alex, and that's key. In peacetime, they had to foment these ideas.
And he used the youth. He said, your parents are idiots, you're in charge. And then they had the kids to show themselves killing their mothers and fathers in the square.
Students rising up, going after their principals, going after, and look, when you're a kid, of course you're going to be anti-principal, anti your teacher. Of course you're going to want to go after them. But what Mao did was take that natural rebelliousness of youth and put weapons in their hands and say that if you do this, if you rise up, the government will be behind you.
And that's what happens when conservatives can't have any speeches now at Berkeley. Oh, but the anti-racists, they can. And what do? Beat up our reporters, attack their car, just covering them. We're God. We're violent. We'll go to your church and we'll kill you because you're white or Christian, because we're the liberals. And then the whole NFL will bow down and kiss our butt because we're going to kill you because we're liberal. We're going to kill you. We're going to beat you. We're going to throw feces on you. We're going to bankrupt the economy. We're all going to live in squalor. We're going to shove Prozac down little children's throats, and everybody's going to die at early age. We're going to live in a giant North Korean hell because we're liberal. We're intellectual. Worship us. Jack Posobiec is our guest, the founder of one of the biggest pro-Trump groups here in the campaign, very prolific. He's a journalist on the ground. And just kicking butt at citizens4trump.com or at Jack Posobiec on Twitter. Be sure and follow him there. There's all the censorship issues. There's all this other news I want to get to. I want to get into this new Comedy Central thing that airs 5 nights a week and attacks yours truly and, takes what I've said out of context or tries to manipulate it. But getting into the NFL, as you said, it's a program. They want to break our will. They know it's unpopular now, but they believe that they're sociopathically on the right course. They want to be part of the big social engineer team. They don't get there's a civil war and we're rejecting them, and irrevocable lines are being drawn here. But let's play this clip of the entire Dallas Cowboys team takes a knee protesting the national anthem. 20 years ago, 30 years, you would laugh. You'd think Martians had taken over. But this is what it is, the full assault on America that was meant to totally happen this year. But Patriots got Trump in, so now it's a train wreck. But they're still executing their operation. Here's that clip.
She said the Cowboys players wanted to show unity, but they were very adamant about wanting to separate that message from the national anthem. Sean?
All right, Lisa, and as they take a knee collectively, boos can be heard from this sellout crowd in Arizona.
Jerry Jones is just a shameful person. That was my grandfather's name, Jerry Jones. A very shameful person.
That smile, that little smirk on his face. He knows what he's doing. And symbols mean things, Alex. We're talking about this in the context of an overall program. They're kneeling. They're kneeling.
Submitting.
Genuflecting. Submitting. What is, you look up.
Can you guys pull up Neil to Zod from Superman 2, please?
Cal, son of Jor-El, kneel before.
Kneel before Zod!
Exactly. It's supplication. And so it's not like, oh, we're kneeling to protest. No. We know what you guys are doing. We know what you're kneeling. Symbols mean things. And so my question to them would be.
It means kneel and give up your country.
Right.
Kneel and let us conquer you. Who are you? Oh, we're the globalists that run slave factories and fund radical Islam and are totally cold-blooded. We're Bono that gives less than 1% of the money he gets from charity to black Africans. But it's okay because, again, they're liberal, Jack.
Yeah, because they want you to submit. They want you to actually the word Islam, it actually means submit to God. So this idea of submission.
Kneel, get on your face.
Yeah, get down. And that's what they do. They kneel 5 times a day. They kneel down, and that's in terms of.
So we're getting the NFL and everybody used to it. They only kneel once a day now. But now you kneel to the mainstream media. Whatever you say, oh, yes, America's bad, we hate it. Oh, we hate free market, we hate all the health care. We want to just make it. Oh, we want to be like Venezuela. We're so sorry, oh, please.
Please give us our single player. Please give us right now. Please take all of our data. Please, Mark Zuckerberg. Please take all of our information. Track me every 5 seconds. That's what George Orwell got wrong. George Orwell got wrong the fact that we would ask for it. That we would ask for all of this targeting, ask for all of this surveillance, that they would actually figure out a way for us to want Big Brother.
And that's, if you ever wondered what the assault on America would look like, the founders and others always said it would come from within. And suddenly at West Point, they're pulling their outfits off, going, we're communists, we're taking over. And their officers are like, good, well done. Because this is their coming out. This is their big move.
I mean, imagine showing that to Patton. Imagine showing Patton, and he says one of his soldiers, and he's got a communist shirt on underneath. What do you think Patton would do with something like that?
And then they put it out to rub it in your face and say, we will win, you will lose.
Because he knows nothing's going to happen to him. He knows there's not going to be negative consequences.
Here you go. Let's listen to Kneel before Zod. Because I actually want to hear the audios when I'm saying.
That's great. It's the best.
We'll come back from break. And
the sort of
there it is.
American leadership role that some presidents have.
We got some fun stuff happening in the control room today.
You got to cut that up with Zod and then the Cowboys right after that. So have him kneel before Zod, and then they.
In fact, I meant to tell them that. In fact, McBreen or just grab kneel before Zod, the whole scene, 30 seconds, and then the Cowboys doing it and everybody else doing it. That's it.
And they put it.
That's the new viral deal right there.
There it is. Perfect.
Continue, Posobiec, and with more great ideas. We need to hire this guy again around here.
What can I say?
See, I mean,
I have ideas. I mean, you put this stuff together because
which is why you need to be kicked out of the Navy. You're not a communist.
No, go.
The president likes you.
No, how dare the
media was like, can you believe the president likes him? Kick him out of the Navy.
How dare the commander?
The commander-in-chief
look at this naval officer and say, I like what this guy says. We got to get rid of him. We can't have this at all. This doesn't make any sense. And I mean,
the president can't be in the White House.
No, we got to get rid of him.
What do you think you are, the president?
Trump can't be on Twitter. Trump can't have access to InfoWars and Breitbart and all these other independent.
He has to be locked up in a tower.
No, we got to get him out there. We've got to put him under house arrest, and we can't let him see any of those subversive things. No, just give him Politico and New York Times and CNN and just make him feel comfortable and safe and all of our sources. Nobody on the other side.
And, of course, it's InfoWars and Breitbart that told him specifically he was being wiretapped, which is all confirmed exactly as we said, which is why he can't see it. Because it's like, you cannot have accurate info, sir. You need to get it immediately from Mr. Kissinger. We'll be back. Stay with us. Jack Posobiec in studio.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.